common ground for sensitive men, validating your emotions, teasing, advice for our sensitive male youth, and what is significant for women to know about a highly sensitive man, the Swedish Organization for Highly Sensitive People, and what it is like to be a sensitive father, and much more. So you can watch this in the episode with Fred Eriksson, and here's his bio. So, as I said, Fred is from Sweden, a small town on the west coast. He is born and raised there. He has studied film studies at the university, and he's a chairman in a local film society. And now he's also climate committed. He got to know about the term high sensitivity back in 2012 from a psychology magazine. And he leads a local group for highly sensitive people in the Swedish Association for Highly Sensitive People. There he also is a nominee member on the board, and he's learning about himself and high sensitivity by reading, following lectures, and meeting people, and the journey continues. So here is Fred Eriksson from Sweden. Enjoy. Because it really looks like a very, very scrumptious cake. This.
Yes, my mother baked those kind of cakes, but not so much now. They're more smaller now.
Yeah, you were lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So what was your world like at the age of 5 as a highly sensitive boy?
Well, I liked many things. It was much about all the new impressions. And it was very good childhood. I play with my toys, and I had some friends, but it was difficult sometimes when they were older boys who was teasing me, and well, sometimes I didn't understand some things, which was difficult. I look back at when you're young, you look kind of happy, but when you're mature, you get more, how to speak, more concern, more serious in the pictures. Not that kind of happy as when you were younger.
Yeah.
It's kind of you want to be alone kind of things. You don't want to be on the pictures, and yeah.
So you said you didn't understand things. Do you mean that people were teasing you at the time, or were there other things in the world around you that you did not understand?
Well, when my parents teased me once, so I didn't understand what they meant, and but it was difficult sometimes in school. The first time when you had it's not kind of baseball, it was kind of play in school when I didn't understand the rules, and that was very difficult the first time. And it was very difficult hitting balls and catching balls. And I was teased about that.
Yeah. And what was that like in your teenage years?
Well, I had some friends that I played with. One kid who lived close to me. I played it a lot, and sometimes it was difficult too when I was sometimes too demanding, and sometimes designing the games, what to play, and yes.
You are saying that you were demanding, or the other person was demanding?
I was demanding sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. And you wanted to be in charge, you mean?
Sometimes deciding what type of games.
Yeah. Yeah. So I also invited you because you are also leading groups for sensitive men, and you're from Sweden.
Yes.
And can you tell me a little bit about the topics that the highly sensitive Swedish men discuss when you're meeting up?
We were having a book club and discussing topics from the book club. But when it comes new people, they want to talk about different things, how to relate to things like overstimulation and how to react in situations, and making boundaries. Well, we had a few meetings. It's not that often you meet men in these groups, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. So how is high sensitivity perceived in Sweden amongst men?
Is it a tough question? I think it's like in every place. But in Sweden, we are more introverted, so it's a little bit easy to hide that kind of things, or kind of melt in.
Yeah, more introverted, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So, as a highly sensitive man, I'm curious, what advice do you have for sensitive male youth?
Yes. Well, I think it's good to pursue your interests, and it's very comfortable having interest and hobbies, and to be good at it.
And of course, I'm curious, what is your hobby?
Well, it's movies and literature and books. And now it's the environment, and that's very difficult to be sensitive when you're living in a small town with decision that's some politicians do. It's not good for the people who lives here. The railway here is going to be shut down. That's not good. And there's a little bit forest that are going to be cut down for some houses, new buildings for some houses. That's not good either. So it's many things like that. When people don't understand.
Yeah. And when people don't understand, do you explain it? Do you discuss it? Or not at all? Do you know that maybe some people don't understand and you just move on?
I try to move on. I mean, I groomed hair with some women, Fridays for Future. So that's been a problem for me. But I tend to be in a group with women, so I feel very much alone being a lonely man in these groups.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I saw your photos of Greenpeace. What is your involvement?
Not that much. They lead things Greenpeace, so and have information videos.
Yeah, yeah, wonderful. So as a highly sensitive man, what do women need to know about a highly sensitive man in a relationship?
Well, we have feelings too. It feels like sometimes we are like this. We are the same in relationships, but it's much about being mature, accepting the female side, but also that I am very masculine too. I am envious, and get jealous. And it's difficult when you get teased. And I am kind of competing too. That kind of inner masculinity, competing. But it's much on the. It's not much on the surface. It just kind of put down many feelings. I don't don't show much anger.
Yeah. When you feel anger, what do you do for yourself?
But it's much more in my home. I am angry. I don't show it to people that I am angry.
Yeah.
Because it afraid that I can't handle the anger, and people laugh at you when you're angry.
Yeah.
My father laughed at me when I was angry. So that you're not understood when you're angry. Like you want someone to say, "I understand that you are angry or you're upset." So you don't push away those feelings.
Yeah, that it is recognized.
Yes.
And validated, actually. Yeah. And what are you most proud of within high sensitivity?
Well, it's I'm interested in so much stuffs, so much different subjects. It's kind of you have it's kind of some old masculinity, kind of leadership about wisdom and such things.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And in what way do you take self-leadership in your life?
It's when I write in articles, debating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if men from Sweden see this episode with you, Fred, how can they contact you to also join the Swedish organization?
It's on my email.
Yeah. Okay. Can you repeat your email address?
Fred.Eriksson at hspforeningen.se.
And what is the name of the organization?
The Swedish Association of High Sensitivity.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, thank you very much for your contribution to be able to speak to you about all things Swedish and high sensitivity. And well, I will see you very soon again. Thank you for your effort and your advice for younger sensitive males and for adult men and women.
Yeah, thank you. I'm a highly sensitive man.